Hello and welcome to France 24's weekly music show. I'm Jennifer Ben Brahim. Coming up.
And another thing left that I need to say. I took a knife in case it was a home game and was wrong and right. Did you expect I might be?
Rebecca Lucy Taylor, aka Self Esteem, is one of the UK's most exciting breakout stars of the last decade, with Grammy and Mercury nominations under her belt. Her music is a mix of bold, genre-blending pop with razor-sharp lyrics. She's also an actress, with roles including Sally Bowles in the West End production of Cabaret. Her third album, A Complicated Woman, is her most theatrical and truthful album to date. And she's also just released her debut book by the same name. She joins us in the studio to tell us more. Self Esteem, welcome.
Thank you. It's lovely to be here.
Now, I have to ask you about your stage name. It is one of the most original names I've heard. Tell us about the inspiration behind it.
It's not a very sexy story in the end, but I was in a band before. I needed a solo project name that wasn't my own. I always thought a band name would be cool if you called it Sex Appeal. And then I was like, didn't quite feel right. So Self Esteem was the other idea. But it has, over the years, it's sort of improved. Doing my solo work has improved my self-esteem. So it's quite cheesy, but I'm going to call my next band Lots of Money.
Yes, manifest. It's important. Now, you're here to talk about your album, A Complicated Woman, and it really kind of explores the complexities of being a woman. You talk about all things from burnout, depression, sexuality, to speaking one's mind. Now, do you think that still in 2025, like female honesty or vulnerability is seen as taboo or even dangerous? I'm thinking about the Lily Allen album that just came out that was so honest but shocking for people.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? It's never occurred to me to be anything but honest. I'm not excited by art that isn't. But I have noticed over the last sort of decade the commodification of sort of a messy woman's experience. So it's just troubling because I don't know how much the industry looks after you when you're putting your heart on the line like that, and it becoming sort of trendy now is I'm just not sure the infrastructure of the music industry sort of is good for that. I mean, I have a very small experience of it. I'm a bit older. I really have control over my head when it comes to what I want to share. But it's a weird mix of like, it worries me and scares me, but I'm also like, I love it. And I think we should build a world where women can be messier and more honest and artistically. That would be great.
More messy women, more amazing albums like yours and Lily Allen's. Now, one of my favorite songs is the opener, I Do and I Don't Care. And there's some lyrics that really stood out to me, which is, if I'm so empowered, why am I such a coward? If I'm strong, why am I broken? What are you trying to say with those lyrics?
I think my second record was very like empowered, and I was really, and it, that's what changed my career really. And a lot of people started to sort of not look up to me, but sort of they looked to me to be like, yes, I'm going to get up in the morning and I'm going to go to work and I'm going to say that thing at work and I'm going to, it's important for me to be honest about how often like I don't say what I mean. I am still like shackled to like people pleasing and that has a knock on. I think it's a sort of feminist issue of like trying to keep yourself safe and nodding and smiling and saying everything's fine still. I think even today we're all still doing it, but with pockets of empowerment. So again, all my music, every record I ever make, I think will just be a timestamp of where I'm at and how I'm like grappling with, being a woman of my age, with my, coming from where I'm from and all those sort of things. It's diary really, but which helps me. And then it's crazy to look out and sort of see thousands of other women over 35 going yes.
Well, for sure. I think one of the tracks off the album and one of the videos really feels like a diary of a 30-something woman. You actually directed this clip. This is Curse. Take a look.
Another day I'm waking up to the fear of shaking from yet another one. I promised to and done, but I can't be trusted. And you always knew that I had a prophet, boy. You just told me that he quit. Good, that's good for him. If I'm sober or drunk, it's still me in the middle of the problem.
So that was Curse. Now tell us about this video. It does feel deeply personal.
I I had directorially had an idea where you do the POV of your MacBook or your laptop all day. I pitched it to other artists actually, and then I just used it for myself. So I just always think, that thing is open next to me throughout my life, and we've done sort of POV of phones and things, but I was like, the laptop really, I just thought, what is that camera seeing all day every day? So I wanted to do it from that, and also just tell the story is the song is about using certain vices that help you like cope with being in alive, I guess, or sentient, and how that can be wonderful and fun and great, and the sort of other side of it. So yeah, I had a good time. There's a lot of my friends involved in it, and a lot of people did me a lot of favors.
That's good. See, I mean, it feels very honest, and it feels, it represents kind of the sound of the song as well.
Yeah.
Now, musician, actress, and just another feather in your cap. You're also a published author. You've just released, I think just last week, your first book, also called Complicated Woman, and you describe this as sort of like an anti-Bible for womanhood. How so?
We sort of, the biblical thing, when I was writing it, it's lots of my iPhone notes and sort of diary things. There's a through line, there's a short story that runs through it. And we were just organising it into sort of gospels, really, and so it's not really a Bible, but it's a sort of form thing. But I really enjoyed writing it. I really didn't think, like, my last album was quite hard to make, and I was like, there was a lot of pressure on it, and there was no pressure on writing a book because no one expected me to. So I have loved doing it. I can't wait to give you a copy.
Great to read it. I'm guessing, was the album first or the book, or did both kind of come around at the same time?
They've both been, like, the book is, I mean, the first things I was writing, this stuff I wrote in like 2015, 16 in it, and it sort of takes you up to now. As well, the video for The Curse, you sort of see that version of me was from a few years ago, and that's very prevalent in the book. It's sort of, I'm toying with the idea of, like, me now at my age, I look like 5 years ago, I want to hug her, and she needed to hug her, me at 10, and just the idea that we're all running alongside each other, we're guiding the women of our future, and we're sort of forgiving the women of our past.
What's an important timestamp of your life?
Yeah.
Now, you're also in Paris because you're performing at the Pitchfork Music Festival, which is taking place all across the French capital in a host of venues. It is one of my favourite festivals, I have to say. Some of the highlights include, of course, yourself, Blood Orange, and super producer A.G. Cook. I'm also really looking forward to seeing this following weekend, the American folk musician Anastasia, who released her debut album Tether earlier this year to critical acclaim. I'm not sure if you've had a chance to listen to it, but I really recommend it. Here's an idea of what to expect from her sound. This is Be Kind.
The longer that I stare at this ghetto diamond, I find it rare and different, this pile of memories. They're always lying there. I dance for 3 days, I dance for 3 days, I dance for 3 days in the arms of my lover that I met in a growing phase.
So that was Anastasia. Now back to your performance for this week's Self Esteem. I've seen footage from your shows such as Glastonbury. It is super impressive, very theatrical. What can we expect from your live shows? Are we going to see the Pilgrim come out on stage again?
The Pilgrims haven't come to Europe.
Okay.
Because it takes a lot of work to keep them present. And I'm also, the idea is that I'm sort of fraying the edges now, and we sort of, the whole concept is that we're breaking free from that. So we've sort of finished the tour, and I was like, I think the Pilgrims, we're free of them, and now it's the next chapter.
They've had their time.
Yeah, but it's still we're a big gang, we're a big sort of coven. It's, I mean, it's so funny putting the show on smaller stages, because obviously I'm playing much smaller stages in Europe at the moment, and there is 6 of us sweating and dancing and screaming, and it's exciting.
Excited to see you on stage. Now, next to a highly anticipated and much teased album release, Lux is Spanish artist Rosalia's 4th album and a complete change artistic direction. It was recorded with the London Symphony Orchestra with guest appearances from the likes of her musical idol Björk. Most impressively, she sings in 13 languages on the album, from her native Spanish to Arabic and all the way to Ukrainian. Let's say listen to the big single off the album. This is Breakout. That was Rosalia. So excited for everyone to listen to the album. It is truly fantastic. Now, Self Esteem, you've also had some kind of classical touches, you could say, to this new album in the form of a choir. Tell us about this choice, because we could really hear these beautiful like harmonies throughout the album. Why this decision to do that?
I've always just loved choir. Like, I was a choir nerd at school, and it's such a big part of my... I only really care about choir, strings, and beat, really. I'm not like, I've never cared about guitars much. So yeah, I write songs and I go, this bit will have, 30 voices on. And this album especially, I finally had a really sort of access to a big choir, and it just is nothing about being alive and singing with other people, I think.
And I feel like a choir feels so British, secondary school.
Yeah.
Now, it's gone so quickly. We've come to the end of the show, and I really want to thank you for coming to speak to us today. You can catch Self Esteem on tour around Europe and at Pitchfork this week. Before we go, just enough time to tell you about another album release of the week from Detroit rapper Danny Brown. Now, Stardust is his 6th album, and actually the first one recorded sober. And once again, we see him experiment with different hyperpop electronic sounds, just like this track, Starburst. We're going to leave you with that. For more arts and culture, you can head to our website. There's more news coming up on France 24 right after this.
Better shape up and get them squares about your circle. And all these niggas bosses, then tell me who the workers. Cause these niggas lurking, pull up like leaving herders. They talk about the murder till they right behind them hearses. Presence is the past and the second, so count your blessings.